Right, what's going on everyone out there on YouTube? NES Ruler, and welcome to a brand new review. And this time around, we'll be checking out a film that was sent to me review by Unearthed Films, and you can pick this up on Blu-ray at all your favorite online retailers. It is a film from Taiwan from the year 1983, and it is titled Calamity of Snakes. So, every so often you watch a film that you go, they could never, ever make this movie today. And this is definitely one of those films that falls in that category. A lot of the time in these Chinese films, I'm going to lump Taiwan into the Chinese films because up until the 80s they were considered part of China. So these Chinese films, including Hong Kong films, didn't shy away from the animal violence, and this film definitely does not shy away from the animal butchering and violence. In this one, luckily, it's only snakes, and I'm sorry to all the snake lovers out there, but I mean, this movie just goes full pedal to the metal to the slaughtering of thousands and thousands of snakes in this movie. And it's absolutely crazy to watch when you sit down and you watch it. It's kind of a journey, kind of a film that when you finish watching it, you go, how the fuck did they make this movie? And somehow they did. But as you learn in this pretty amazing feature on this release that I'll talk about in a little while, it was pretty normal for the time period in Chinese cinema that they would often have quite a bit of unsimulated animal butchering. But Calamity of Snakes, it's an exploitation film to its T. I mean, it's the pure definition of an exploitation film. We basically follow this apartment building that is getting built in Taiwan, and they discover a pit of 2,000 snakes. It's got to be 2,000 snakes in this pit, and our main character, he has a little bit of a conscience. He's like, no, let's not murder these snakes. Let's do the right thing. Let's safely remove them and relocate them. But the monopoly, big budget building builder, if you want to say, he has another idea, and he decides that he's going to murder all these snakes and cut corners to get the job done as fast as he can. So he takes this bulldozer and he just absolutely annihilates all these snakes, and you could tell it's the real deal. He slaughters all these snakes, and you could probably see where this is going. They end up building the building, and the remaining snakes are pissed off, and they start to go after the tenants of this new apartment building one by one. And I mean, you get what you get when the snakes decides to kill people. You can just tell that they were just throwing snakes at the actors by the buckets full. Just whoosh, whoosh, just buckets and buckets of snakes being thrown at the actors. There's this one scene where you just see this guy absolutely annihilate this snake he absolutely annihilates and skins this snake, and it's quite brutal. And as I was watching it, I go, man, they would never get away with this stuff today. They just wouldn't. It'd be CG'd, of course, today, but watching these films from China in the 80s, you just go, man, they had a lax idea when it comes to making films. Of course, I understand it's a whole cultural thing, and a lot of the time you learn that they eat snake and things like that, so I understand to a Westerner's eyes, it's probably a little bit crazy, and even today, if somebody from over there watches it, it probably is a little bit crazy. But at the time, I bet you it didn't seem that crazy that what they were doing to all of these snakes. But it's definitely a time capsule of a film. Is it good? Absolutely not. Not a good movie whatsoever. It's quite trash, which is understandable. Most exploitation films are trite trash. There's like this 3-minute sequence where we see this like mongoose kind of character hunt and kill a snake, and it's like 3 minutes long with no cuts. Just this mongoose and the snake battling it out. It's absolutely pointless exploitation kind of stuff. Not too much nudity. There is sex, but it's not too much nudity. But it's definitely an exploitation film to the T. But it is not good. I mean, everything, the acting's horrible, the story is trash, everything is trash. But, of course, the main attraction in this movie is the snakes. And they don't shy away from the snakes in this film. But what I want to talk about is this amazing feature on this release. Unearthed Films, if you guys listened to my last couple of releases, reviews of their releases, you would know the main problem that I have with them is they don't really do much with their features, especially in this classics line. But this one has quite a few features. There's this awesome, hour and 20-minute featurette about early Chinese language horror films. It's brand new. Awesome feature that talks about the early history of horror films in China with the Shaw brothers, and then competition starts showing up and things like that. It's just a fantastic featurette that ultimately leads to a discussion on this film and interviews with the actors who were associated with this movie. Just a really fantastic featurette, kind of worth the price of admission itself. If you guys like learning about Asian cinema, I think you'll probably learn a little bit on this featurette. Really great. I give credit to Unearthed for that feature. It's really nice, really well done, well made, pretty much documentary on early Chinese cinema. So good job there. And then you have an interview with some more actors, some more in-depth interviews with some of the actors that are not part of that documentary feature that I just talked about. Then you got the original English dub, and then a commentary track with two film scholars. And then you got a cruelty-free version on this film. When you put the disc in, when the menu comes up, you could watch the theatrical version, or you could watch the cruelty-free version. And I think we all know what's in that version. You're going to get none of the snake butchering, none of the snake killing, or any of that stuff that is so prominent in this movie. I'd be curious how they cut around it, because it is such a major part of this movie is all the snake butchering. And then you have a uncut version, which is you can only see it if you go to the features, and it's listed. It's it's an unremastered, uncut version of the film. It's 2 or 3 minutes longer. I'm not entirely sure what's in that edition compared to the remastered editions that are on here. And then you have an alternate credit sequence and a gallery. So overall, Unearthed Films did a really nice job with this edition. The transfer isn't anything mind-boggling or anything like that. And the audio, it is what it is. It's just a 1.0 basic mono track. So nothing amazing, but package-wise, I think this has some really awesome supplemental features on it. And I feel like Unearthed Films did a really solid job with this release. I feel like if they didn't have as good as supplemental features on this, probably wouldn't have done much for me, but that supplemental feature on early Chinese cinema is really interesting and really well done. So that is my review of 1983's Calamity of Snakes, released by Unearthed Films, part of their Unearthed Classics line. Pick this up right now on all your favorite online retailers. If you guys like this review, please give it a thumbs up. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/NESRuler22. Hope everybody's doing well, and I shall talk to you guys soon. See you guys.